In the enigmatic embrace of Willowbrook, a quaint hamlet nestled amidst the hush of nature, there existed a tale that cascaded through the leaves, weaving itself into the very fabric of the town's existence. It was a legend, a chilling whisper that passed from lips to ears, a tale of malevolence veiled in shadow, patiently awaiting its next victim, lurking like a specter in the twilight of the town's consciousness. Under the canvas of an autumn evening, where the sun surrendered to the obsidian grasp of the horizon, Emily, a young woman possessed of both curiosity that knew no bounds and a spirit that dared the unknown, chose to confront the eerie narrative that had woven itself into the town's folklore. Armed with nothing but a flickering flashlight and an unwavering bravery, she embarked upon a treacherous journey into the very bosom of the dense forest, the epicenter of the whispered legends that had become the marrow of Willowbrook's lore. Deeper she ventured, and the trees, like ancient sentinels, closed ranks around her, their skeletal fingers reaching out, grasping at the fabric of her reality. The atmosphere thickened with an eerie silence, punctuated only by the haunting symphony of leaves crunching beneath her boots. Her flashlight, a feeble beacon in the encroaching darkness, cast grotesque, elongated shadows that danced upon the trees, an illusory ballet in the stillness of the night. Then, a whisper, faint yet distinct, floated through the air, carried on the ethereal wings of the wind. Emily's heart, a wild stallion, galloped within her chest as she quickened her pace, the palpable darkness pressing against her from all directions. Every rustle of leaves, every snap of a twig, served as a jolt to her senses, a reminder of her vulnerable mortality. Amidst the spectral tapestry of the forest, she stumbled upon an abandoned cabin, a relic of forgotten time and human habitation, now swallowed by the relentless march of nature. Its windows, once eyes to the world, were now vacant sockets, and the door hung precariously on its last hinge. With hands trembling like leaves in a storm, Emily pushed the door open, its reluctant movement accompanied by the rusty groan of old metal. Within, an eerie luminescence, birthed by the moon's soft glow filtering through the veil of leaves, bathed the cabin's interior in a ghostly pallor. The air within was laden with the scent of decay and dampness, a perfume of forsaken memories and the passage of time. Shadows pirouette on the walls, contorting into grotesque shapes that seemed to mock the very essence of reality. Emily's flashlight flickered, its erratic beams of light unveiling fragmented glimpses of the cabin's past, faded photographs, fragments of furniture succumbing to the weight of ages, and tattered curtains swaying ominously to the rhythm of the night breeze. In an instant, a gust of wind slammed the door shut behind her, severing her connection to the outside world, plunging the cabin into a chasm of impenetrable darkness. Emily's breath, a fragile melody in the symphony of fear, caught in her throat as she fumbled desperately for her flashlight, her trembling fingers grappling with its slender form. The whispers, once distant echoes, now swirled around her like a maelstrom, a cacophony of indistinct voices blending into a sinister laughter that reverberated through the cabin's desolate chambers. Then, she saw them, pairs of luminescent eyes, akin to fiery orbs, gleaming malevolently from the inky abyss. The whispers, now transformed into a malevolent chorus, clawed at her sanity, wrapping her psyche in a vice of terror. A frigid, skeletal hand, icy tendrils of dread, settled on her shoulder, a touch that seared through her like frostbite. A scream, primal and raw, tore through the silence of the night as Emily, propelled by sheer instinct and terror, turned and fled into the abyss, crashing through the undergrowth, her senses assaulted by the chaos of her surroundings. The whispers pursued, an ever-present specter growing louder and more menacing with every heartbeat. Icy fingers grazed her skin, the ghostly touch sending shockwaves of fear rippling through her being. Breathless and teetering on the precipice of collapse, Emily burst forth from the labyrinth of trees into the sanctuary of the town's feeble streetlights. The whispers, once deafening, gradually receded, leaving her trembling, a shattered reflection of her former self. Even now, in the tapestry of night when the town slumbers beneath the cloak of darkness, the whispers endure, they linger in the ether, a haunting refrain that serves as a chilling reminder of that fateful night when Emily dared to confront the enigma that resided in the heart of the legend, an encounter that forever altered the very core of her existence. In the enigmatic hamlet of Willowbrook, ensconced amidst the labyrinthine depths of the primeval woods, loomed a dwelling shrouded in ominous legend, its time-worn facade, adorned with shattered windows, bore witness to the passage of ages. Its once proud roof now bowed beneath the weight of an unseen burden, as though the very essence of the world had conspired to crush it. Whispers, as ancient as time itself, pervaded the local populace. Tales of a sinister curse that had enshrouded this abode, rendering it a place of dread and fear, a sanctuary avoided like the plague. On a moonlit night saturated with eerie shadows and pregnant with unspeakable secrets, a young woman named Emily, her spirit imbued with a fierce curiosity akin to a moth irresistibly drawn to the hypnotic allure of a flickering flame, embarked on a daring expedition, armed solely with a feeble, flickering flashlight that cast ethereal illumination upon her path. She traversed the threshold, the door yawning ominously behind her, its rusty hinges protesting the intrusion. Within the forsaken domicile, the very atmosphere quivered with a palpable malevolence, the air dense with an acrid odor that clung to the senses like a ghostly echo of forgotten sins. In the profound darkness, where shadows took on a life of their own, Emily's heart reverberated within her chest, its cadence akin to the ominous drumming of a funeral dirge. Despite the primal fear that clawed at her insides, her unyielding curiosity propelled her deeper into the Stygian abyss that enveloped her. Amidst the echoing silence, faint murmurs, spectral echoes from ages past, emanated from the very walls themselves. A chilling caress, akin to icy tendrils, slithered down her spine, and a voice, barely audible, whispered her name, each syllable dripping with a spectral resonance. Emily! Her instinct screamed for her to flee, to escape the clutches of the unholy. Yet the door slammed shut, sealing her fate within the malevolent embrace of the house. Panic seized her heart as the walls, animated by some malignant force, constricted around her, their ancient timbers groaning in a symphony of dread. The temperature plummeted, and her every breath hung in the air like ethereal specters, tangible evidence of her terror. In an instant, the whispers coalesced, transforming into a cacophony of voices, their words painting a ghastly portrait of a malevolent entity roused from its slumber by her audacious intrusion. This entity, they intimated, hungered for the essence of the living, craving their fear like an addict yearning for the narcotic allure of terror. A frigid claw, as cold and implacable as death itself, closed around Emily's throat, its vice-like grip robbing her of breath. Gasping for air, her flickering flashlight casting grotesque, dancing shadows on the walls, she beheld a specter, a form cloaked in pure darkness, its eyes aflame with a sinister luminescence that bespoke of ancient malevolence. The entity spoke, its voice a guttural rasp that reverberated through the house like the tolling of a death knell. You should not have trespassed, Emily. Now, you are bound here for eternity. Desperation clawed at her soul as she fought against the invisible tendrils that ensnared her. Eyes tightly shut, she screamed, her voice an agonized plea that echoed through the haunted halls, praying that some benevolent ear would hear her cries and offer salvation. Yet, her pleas, like fragile echoes in the void, fell upon deaf ears. The house, imbued with a malevolent sentience, stirred with life, its very walls groaning and shifting as though animated by a diabolical force. Emily was not alone. The very essence of the house, a corporeal manifestation of ancient malevolence, conspired against her. The entity tightened its spectral grip, its laughter, a sound devoid of humanity, reverberating through the obsidian darkness. Emily's vision blurred, reality warping and fading into oblivion. And as the morning sun cast its golden tendrils over Hollowbrook, illuminating the world with its warm, life-giving light, it found the decaying house standing in solemn silence, a mere relic of the terror that had transpired within its accursed walls. But the townsfolk, privy to the dread-laden secrets that whispered through the village like a mournful breeze, steered clear of the house with renewed fervor. In their collective consciousness, the spirit that dwelled within had claimed another victim, leaving behind naught but a bone-chilling tale of horror and a solemn admonition, a cautionary parable etched in the annals of their shared nightmares.
In a remote coastal town known as Siren's Cove, the legend of the vengeful Finn had been whispered for generations. According to the ancient tale, a malevolent shark that had once terrorized the waters surrounding the town was cursed by a powerful witch. It was said that the vengeful spirit of the shark still lurked beneath the depths, waiting for an opportunity to exact its revenge on the descendants of those who wronged it. One stormy night, the sea roared angrily, and the skies above Siren's Cove turned black with rage. As the townsfolk huddled in their homes, a group of adventurous young divers decided to explore the depths of the ocean, guided by a local fisherman's map that claimed to lead to a hidden treasure shipwreck. Unaware of the peril that lay ahead, they set out in their small boat, with a sense of excitement and curiosity driving them forward. But what they didn't know was that the storm was no ordinary tempest. It was said that when the vengeful fin stirred, the sea itself raged in fury. As the divers descended into the murky depths, their flashlights barely pierced the darkness. Soon, they reached the supposed location of the treasure shipwreck, but instead of the expected riches, they stumbled upon a cavernous chamber ancient and foreboding. Inside, eerie phosphorescent lights flickered, illuminating the gnarled bones of long-dead sailors and their doomed vessel. In their eagerness to uncover any valuable remnants, the divers accidentally disturbed a hidden trigger, activating a trap set to protect the cursed chamber. The water around them began to churn and the entrance to the cavern was sealed off, leaving them trapped with no way out. As panic set in, they could feel a menacing presence watching them from the shadows. The legend of the vengeful fin rushed back into their minds, but it seemed impossible that it could be true. Yet, as their flashlights flickered and dimmed, an ominous figure emerged from the darkness, a massive, ghostly white shark, with eyes that glowed a haunting shade of blue. They tried to swim back to the surface, but the malevolent spirit of the shark seemed to control the very waters around them. With a sinister grin, the vengeful fin circled them, stalking its prey as if to prolong their fear. One by one, the shark attacked the divers as if to reenact the cruelty it had once suffered at the hands of humans. Each encounter was more terrifying than the last, and the waters turned red with their blood. As the night wore on, it became clear that escaping the cursed chamber alive was impossible. But as the last diver fell victim to the vengeful fin, a sudden calm spread through the water. The storm above subsided, and the waters grew still. The ghostly shark retreated back into the shadows, leaving only silence in its wake. The next morning, the storm had passed, and the sea appeared peaceful again. The townsfolk gathered by the shore, wondering what had happened to the young divers. Some believed the legend of the vengeful fin, while others dismissed it as mere folklore. The truth, however, remained a mystery. The cursed chamber remained hidden beneath the depths, and the legend of the vengeful fin continued to haunt the town of Siren's Cove for generations to come. Some say that on stormy nights, when the sea rages and the sky turns black, the ghostly white shark returns, seeking vengeance on any who dare to disturb its watery tomb. And so the tale of the vengeful fin lives on, a chilling reminder of the unknown horrors that may lurk beneath the surface, waiting to strike when least expected. And the town of Siren's Cove continues to be haunted by the shadowy legacy of the malevolent spirit that once ruled the depths of the ocean. The small coastal town of Ocean View was known for its pristine beaches, crystal clear waters, and picturesque sunsets. But beneath the surface lurked an ancient secret, a darkness that had haunted the deep for centuries. Beneath the shimmering waves, a monstrous presence waited patiently, hungry for its next prey. For years, Ocean View had been the favored summer destination for tourists seeking relaxation and escape from the bustling city life. Its beaches were filled with laughter, sandcastles, and the rhythmic sound of crashing waves. But as the summer arrived, strange occurrences began to taint the idyllic scene. Local fishermen whispered of massive shadows lurking in the depths, consuming their catches in one swift motion. Each day, more boats returned with tales of slashed nets and missing companions. Fear gripped the heart of the once thriving fishing community, and they hesitated to venture far from the safety of the shore. As rumors spread like wildfire, it didn't take long for the townspeople to realize that a nightmare had awakened in their waters, a predator that struck fear into the hearts of sailors and fishermen alike, the great white shark. But this was no ordinary great white. This was a prehistoric leviathan, a true monster of the deep, and it had somehow managed to survive through the ages, growing more immense and cunning with each passing year. Captain Jonas Reed, a grizzled veteran of the sea, had faced his share of dangerous encounters, but he had never seen anything like this. Determined to protect his town and those he loved, he assembled a team of experts including marine biologists, shark researchers, and seasoned divers to uncover the truth behind the escalating terror. They soon discovered that this colossal shark, aptly named Maelstrom, had evolved to be not only bigger but smarter than its modern-day counterparts. Its size and intelligence made it virtually impossible to catch or predict its movements. Captain Reed knew that they were facing a foe beyond any of their wildest nightmares. As the summer months wore on, the attacks escalated. Swimmers vanished without a trace, their screams swallowed by the vast expanse of the ocean. The once bustling beaches lay deserted as the townspeople retreated to the safety of their homes. Panic gripped Oceanview, and darkness descended upon the once vibrant town. Local authorities attempted to take action, but their efforts proved futile against the relentless terror of Maelstrom. The beast moved with uncanny precision, picking off boats and swimmers alike, leaving a trail of terror and death in its wake. The town held an emergency meeting, desperate for a solution. In a room filled with hushed whispers, Captain Reed stepped forward with a daring plan. He proposed luring the shark into a trap, a plan fraught with danger but their only hope. The following day, the plan was set into motion. The waters were eerily calm as the team positioned themselves at the outskirts of the bay. A large, specially designed cage filled with fresh chum was set adrift. The hope was to draw Maelstrom to the bait, and then lower a reinforced net trapping it inside. As they waited with bated breath, the silence was shattered by a mighty force beneath the waves. Maelstrom had taken the bait, with adrenaline pumping through their veins. But Maelstrom was more cunning than they had anticipated. With a burst of incredible strength, it tore through the net, leaving the team in shock. It was clear that this was a fight they couldn't win. As a last resort, Captain Reed realized they had only one option to face the beast head-on. Armed with harpoons and determination, they engaged in a desperate battle for survival. The ocean churned with fury, stained crimson by the life and death struggle. One by one, the team members fell to the relentless jaws of darkness. Captain Reed, the last remaining member, fought with the strength of 100 men, fueled by grief and the desire to protect his home. It was a battle of wills as intelligence met primal instinct in a battle that seemed to transcend time itself. But fate had another plan. As Maelstrom prepared to deliver the final blow, the surrounding waters began to churn violently. In that moment, it became clear that Maelstrom was not the true monster of the deep, it was merely a pawn, a predator that had awakened a force far more terrifying. The ancient creature, a colossal kraken, was a guardian of the ocean, ensuring the balance of nature. With a final thunderous roar, the kraken dragged Maelstrom deep into the abyss, vanishing into the darkness from whence it came. The ocean calmed, and the terror that had plagued Oceanview was no more. The sacrifice of Captain Reed and his team had saved the town, but the memory of that fateful summer would forever haunt the hearts of the survivors. Oceanview returned to its tranquil beauty, but the townspeople knew they shared the waters with an ancient darkness, one that could awaken at any moment. And so the legend of the Jaws of Darkness lived on, a reminder of the untamed fury that lay beneath the surface, lurking in the abyss, waiting for the day it might rise again.